Hi everyone, hope you all are good. We are here for grade 4 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab, scroll down to grade 4 math, and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter decimals. The lessons we're going to cover today are what decimal number is illustrated, understanding decimals expressed in words, place values in decimal numbers, and equivalent decimals. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. Here I'm on grade 4 math. Chapter we are on right now is decimal. Decimals, let's just start with the first lesson, that is what decimal number is illustrated. What decimal number is illustrated? So the complete square has 100 small squares and 59 of the squares are colored. So that means the picture show 59 hundredth. So you can write it in a place value chart as 0.59. So the answer is 0.59. Let's just start with the test questions. What decimal number is illustrated? So the figure has 10 lines and 3 of them are colored. So you can write it as 0.3. Option number 1 is the correct option. What decimal number is illustrated, which is the correct option? So the complete square has 100 small squares, and out of 100 small squares, 59 are colored. That is 0.59. Option number 2 is the correct option. What decimal number is illustrated? Which is the correct option? That is 0.74. Option number 2 is the correct option. Very good. That is 0.74. What decimal number is illustrated? Which is the correct option? That is 0.52. Option number 2 is the correct option. What number is illustrated? Which is the correct option? That is 0.9. Option number 1 is the correct option. What decimal number is illustrated? The correct option is 0.45. Option number 1 is the correct option. What decimal number is illustrated? That is 0.17. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let's just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is understanding decimals expressed in words. So let's just start with the lesson. Let's just see how do we write the decimal numbers that are expressed in words. Right, 2 and 71 hundredths. So 71 hundredths, that means the 171 hundredths is the decimal portion and 2 is the number, 2 is the whole number. So that is 2.71. 5, basically the important thing you need to learn over here is the decimal portion have th with them. For example, tenths, hundredths, here you have th, and tenths, here you have th. 1 and 1/10, again that is the decimal portion, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Write 2 and 77 hundredth. So which is the correct option? 2 is the whole number and 77th is the decimal portion, that is 2.77. Option number 2 is the correct option. Write 2 and 67 hundredth, which is the correct option. That is 2.67. Option number 2 is the correct option. Write 5 and 5/10 as a decimal number. That is 5.5. Option number 2 is the correct option. One and 46th hundredth as a decimal number. So which is the correct option? That is 1.46. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 6 and 52 hundredth. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 6.52. Write 8 and 6/10 as a decimal number. So which is the correct option? That is 8.6. Option number 2 is the correct option. Very good. One and 31 hundredth. which is the correct option? Option number 2 is the correct option. Right, 2 and 70, 100th, which is the correct option? Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 and 70, 100th, that is 2.71. Option 1 is the correct option. Write 5 and 2/10 as a decimal number. That is 5.2. Option number 2 is the correct option. Write 5 and 8600th as a decimal number. Option 2 is the correct option. That is 5.86. Option number 2 is the correct option. Write 1 and 7300th. Option number 1 is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is place values in decimal numbers. In 4.2, which digit is in the ones place? So the important thing you need to learn in the decimal number is the place value chart. That is very important. So the place value chart for the decimals is Like here you have decimal point. Before the decimal, you have ones digit, tens digit, hundred digit, like the one we learned earlier. Now, after the decimal point, the first one is the digit that is at the 10th position. The second one is at the hundredth position. The third one is at the thousandth position. So basically thing you need to learn over here is after the decimal point you have th with the place values like tenth, hundredth, thousand, 10,000 and so on. Got it? 4.2. 4 is at the ones place, right? Let's just start with the test questions. In 4.2, which digit is at the ones place? So the ones digit is 4. 4 is the digit that is at the ones place. In 0.4, which digit is at the zeros? The which digit is the zero? Zero is at the ones place. Option number 1 is the correct option. In 41.5, which digit is at the tens place? The digit that is at the tens place is 4. Option number 2 is the correct option. Is 8.2 in 8.2 in which place is the 2, which is the correct option? 2 is at the 10th. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 is at the 10th place. In 2578.39, which digit is in the 100th place, which is the correct option? Hundredth place. 9 it is. Very good. Option number 2 is the correct option. In 1235.80, which digit is in the hundreds place, which is the correct option? Hundreds place is 2 is at the hundreds place. The correct option is option number 2. In 0.81, in which place is the 1, which is the correct option? 1 is at the hundreds place. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is at the hundredth place. In 5.2, which digit is at the 10th place? That is 2. Option number 1 is the correct option. 2 is at the 10th place. In 154.68, in which place is the 1, which is the correct option? One is at the hundreds place. The correct option is hundreds. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is equivalent decimals. Let's just start with the next lesson. Which decimal is equivalent to 0.4690? So here you're not given with the options, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Basically, adding zeros at the end of the decimal are 0.440 and 0.4400 equivalent decimals. Yes, they are. equivalent. You can write either like this: 0.44, 0.440, and 0.4400. They all are exactly same. The correct option is yes, they are equivalent. So that means if you add the zeros at the end of the decimal number, or either you remove them, they are the same. So the correct option is yes. Is 0.3400 and 0.340 equivalent decimals? Yes, they are equivalent. Option number one is the correct option. Which decimal is equivalent to 0.070? That is option number two is the correct option. Are 0.66 and 0.67 equivalent decimals? No, they are not, right? The numbers are different, so no, they are not equivalent. Which decimal is equivalent to 0.1000, which is the correct option? The correct option is option number two, that is 0.1. Which decimal is equivalent to 0.000? That is option number one, that is 0.0. That is 0.15. Option number two is the correct option. The correct option is yes, they are equivalent. The correct option is yes. Which decimal is equivalent to 0.700? Option number 2 is the correct option. No, they are not equivalent. 0.90 and 0.0, they are not equivalent. Which decimal is equivalent to 0.860? That is option number 1, that is 0.8600. Are 0.2 and 0.200 equivalent decimals? The correct option is yes, they are equivalent. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 4 math. Chapter we were working on is decimals. The lessons we have covered today are what decimal number is illustrated, understanding decimals expressed in words, place values in decimal numbers and equivalent decimals. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you. Or either you can write down the questions in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please write down the questions in the chat box if you have any. Questions? No questions? Okay, then that's all for today. See you in the next session.